Welcome to our series of bedtime stories, designed to help you relax and fall asleep. Let us take you on a journey through magical lands and captivating stories, as we guide you towards a peaceful slumber. Be sure to check our channel, as we'll share new stories filled with wonder and delight. So grab your favorite blanket and get ready to drift off into dreamland. A journey to the sea. As Sarah lay in bed, she couldn't shake the feeling of restlessness that had taken hold of her. She had been working non-stop for weeks, and her mind was racing with thoughts of her never-ending to-do list. She knew she needed to find a way to calm her mind, if she was ever going to be able to fall asleep. With a sigh, Sarah got out of bed and put on her shoes. She needed to take a walk and clear her head. She walked out into the night, the cool air gently caressing her face. As she walked, she noticed that her pace naturally slowed down, and her breathing grew deeper and more measured. The sound of her footsteps on the pavement became a soothing rhythm that helped to calm her mind. She felt her body start to relax, and she found herself becoming more and more aware of her surroundings. Sarah walked to the beach, her feet sinking into the sand with each step. The moon was full, and its light shimmered on the water, casting an otherworldly glow. She walked down to the water's edge and let her toes touch the water. It was cool, but she liked the feeling of the water lapping at her feet. She closed her eyes and let herself get lost in the sound of the waves crashing against the shore. The sound was soothing, like a lullaby that would take her to sleep. She took deep breaths, inhaling the salty air and feeling her body start to unwind. As she walked along the shore, she noticed that she was becoming more and more relaxed with each step. She felt a sense of peace settle over her, and she realized that this was exactly what she needed. Sarah walked for a long time, letting her mind wander and her thoughts drift away. When she finally returned home, she felt more relaxed and calm than she had in weeks. She climbed into bed, feeling grateful for the peaceful journey to the sea. As she drifted off to sleep, she felt the gentle rhythm of the waves in her mind, lulling her into a deep and peaceful slumber. She slept soundly, knowing that she could return to the tranquility of the sea whenever she needed it. The dream world. Sarah slept deeply and peacefully that night. Her mind and body both relaxed from her journey to the sea. But in her dreams, she was transported to another world. She found herself in a forest, surrounded by towering trees that seemed to reach to the sky. The air was filled with the sound of rustling leaves and the sweet fragrance of blooming flowers. Sarah took a deep breath and felt her body become lighter and more at ease. As she walked deeper into the forest, she noticed that there were paths leading in different directions. One path was overgrown and seemed to lead to a dark and ominous place, while another path was well-trodden and filled with light. Sarah felt drawn to the light, and she followed the path, her feet treading softly on the soft grass. She felt a sense of joy and happiness fill her as she walked. her mind clearing of all worries and stress. As she walked, she came upon a beautiful lake, surrounded by flowers and trees. The water was crystal clear, and a gentle breeze was blowing, causing tiny ripples on the surface. Sarah approached the lake and saw a figure sitting by the water's edge. The figure was an old woman, dressed in a long white robe. She had a kind face and a gentle smile, and she beckoned to Sarah. Sarah approached her, and the old woman spoke. "Child, I am the keeper of dreams. I have been waiting for you. You have come to a special place, a place where you can escape the worries and stresses of the world and find peace and happiness." Sarah listened intently, feeling her mind and heart open to the woman's words. This place is called the dream world, and it is a place where you can find the answers to your questions, where you can explore your heart's desires, and where you can find peace and happiness, the old woman continued. Sarah felt her heart swell with joy and excitement. She realized that this was a place where she could escape the stress and pressures of the world and find the peace and happiness she had been searching for. The old woman led Sarah to a small boat, and they set out onto the lake. The water was calm and the boat glided smoothly, taking Sarah to new and wondrous places. They visited a castle made of candy, a garden filled with talking animals, and a beach where the sun was always shining and the water was always warm. Sarah felt her heart fill with joy and wonder as she explored this magical world, and she realized that this was exactly what she needed. As the journey came to an end, the old woman hugged Sarah and whispered, "Come back to this world whenever you need to find peace and happiness." And with that, Sarah woke up, feeling refreshed and at peace. She knew that she could return to the dream world whenever she needed to escape the stresses of the world and find happiness and peace. And she slept soundly, knowing that she had found a place where she could always find solace and rest. A visit to the forest. Sarah woke up feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. She knew that the peacefulness she experienced the previous night was due to her visit to the beach. She decided to continue her journey and explore more of the natural world. She took a walk into the nearby forest, where the trees were tall and the air was filled with the scent of pine and earth. The sun filtered through the leaves, creating dappled patterns on the forest floor. Sarah felt herself becoming more and more relaxed with each step. She heard the gentle rustling of leaves in the wind and the chirping of birds in the distance. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath, letting the natural beauty of the forest surround her. She stumbled upon a clearing and saw a family of deer drinking from a tranquil stream. The deer were completely unafraid of Sarah and allowed her to approach. She felt a deep connection to them, and she understood that all living things were part of the same natural world. She sat down on a nearby rock and watched the deer, feeling at peace with the world. She reflected on all that she had experienced so far and realized that the beauty and majesty of the natural world was helping her to find balance and peace within herself. Sarah closed her eyes again and let herself sink into the peaceful world of the forest. She felt herself drift into a deep, restful sleep, surrounded by the beauty of the natural world. In her dreams, she continued to explore the wonders of the forest, feeling a sense of adventure and discovery. She slept soundly, knowing that she would wake up refreshed and ready to face whatever challenges the day might bring. A climb to the mountain top. Sarah awoke to the sounds of the forest, feeling rejuvenated and ready for another day of adventure. She decided to set her sights on a nearby mountain and make the climb to its peak. She started her journey, following a narrow path that wound its way up the mountain. The air grew cooler as she climbed higher, and she felt invigorated by the challenge. The view from the top was breathtaking, with miles and miles of rolling hills and forests stretching out before her. Sarah took a deep breath and gazed out at the landscape, feeling a sense of accomplishment and awe. The sun was just beginning to set, casting a golden glow over the land. She felt a sense of peace and stillness, as though she was at the center of the world. As she stood at the top of the mountain, she realized that all the worries and concerns of her life seemed small and distant. She was reminded of the vastness and beauty of the world, and she felt a sense of wonder and gratitude. She closed her eyes and let herself sink into the peacefulness of the moment. She felt a deep connection with the natural world, and she understood that no matter what challenges she faced, she was always a part of the greater whole. She started her descent down the mountain, feeling refreshed and recharged. She knew that the journey had been worth it, and that the memories of the mountain top would stay with her for a long time to come. Sarah arrived back at her cottage, feeling tired but content. She went to bed that night, lulled by the sounds of the night and the knowledge that she had experienced something truly special. She slept soundly, surrounded by the peace and beauty of the natural world. In her dreams, she continued to explore the wonders of the world, feeling a sense of adventure and discovery. She slept soundly, knowing that she would wake up refreshed and ready to face whatever the day might bring. She slept deeply, surrounded by the beauty of the world and the sense of peace she had found on her journey. A return to the real world. Sarah awoke to the sound of birds singing outside her cottage. She felt refreshed and at peace, knowing that she had experienced something truly special on her journey. She decided to return to the real world, where she would face the challenges and responsibilities of her everyday life. She packed her bags and said goodbye to the cottage, knowing that she would always remember the peacefulness and beauty she had experienced during her time there. As she drove back to the city, she reflected on her journey. She realized that the world was full of wonder and beauty, and that she could find peace and stillness wherever she went. She arrived back at work, feeling invigorated and ready to tackle her tasks. She was amazed at how much more productive and focused she was, and she understood that the peace she had found in nature was helping her to be more centered and effective in her everyday life. She continued to seek out opportunities to connect with the natural world, finding peace and stillness in the beauty of nature. And as she faced each new challenge, she was always reminded of the sense of peace she had found on her journey. Sarah's journey had changed her in profound ways, and she knew that she would never forget the beauty and majesty of the world she had discovered. She felt grateful for the experience, and she knew that the peace she had found would stay with her for the rest of her life. And so, Sarah lived a happy and fulfilling life, surrounded by the beauty of the world and the peace she had found on her journey. She knew that she would always be able to find peace and stillness, no matter where she went or what challenges she faced. And she lived her life with a sense of wonder and gratitude, always reminded of the majesty of the world and the peace she had found within herself.